Welcome back. With us now is Austin Beutner, the superintendent of LA Unified, which is outside of New York, the largest school district in the country. So, Mr. Superintendent, walk us through this briefly. 61 elementary schools open Monday for faculty and staff. Kindergarten and first graders arrive Tuesday. Other schools and other grades will open in the days and weeks to come. But everyone needs to have proof they tested negative for COVID within the past week. Do I have that right?
Yes, you have it right. What we've tried to do is put in place a plan to reopen schools in the safest way possible. It starts with the upgrading of the air filtration systems in every classroom to near hospital grade. In addition, we've reconfigured school facilities. We have doubled custodial staff to not just clean, but sanitize every room. And our plan includes COVID testing for students and staff, and every student, every staff member who's on campus will be tested each week for COVID, including before school starts.
So how does this work? Parents and students still have the option of going to class remotely. So a teacher has students in class, but is there a laptop open at the same time as he or she engages with students on Zoom?
We're offering a full-day, 5-day-a-week program. I think we're one of the few school districts that's actually doing that. And in order to accommodate both students who will be there in person and students whose families choose for them to stay online, in the morning, the teachers will work with the students who are at school. In the afternoon, the teachers will work with the students who have chosen to stay online. The students who are at school will spend the afternoon with a tutor. They'll have recess, they'll have lunch, they'll have PE, art class, all of the regular program that might be part of an elementary school day. So students at school will have a full day of school. Students who remain online will continue with the same instructional program that they've been on with the same teacher that they've had for the course of the year.
So your survey shows a disconnect. On the one hand, you have a lot of parents who aren't comfortable with sending their students back to school. On the other, you have parents of high school students who wonder, how is it my teenager can go to a theater, a bowling alley, a McDonald's for lunch, but can't attend a math class?
Well, let's separate elementary from secondary. In elementary, we're offering a full-day program, and still only about 40% of families feel comfortable sending their child back to school. They understand that we're doing everything possible to make it safe, but we serve communities which have been amongst the hardest hit by COVID in the nation. Death rates 5 and 10 times higher than just other parts of Los Angeles. Job loss, 3/4 of the families we serve had someone in the household lose work due to COVID, and much, much lower vaccination rates. I was in South Los Angeles yesterday, vaccination rates still less than 20%. If you and I took a trip to Bel Air, we'd see vaccination rates above 50%. So what we've got to do is help families understand schools where their child will learn the best, that we're doing everything we can to make school as safe as possible. So we have students back in the classroom. That's where the best learning occurs. And that's elementary. Secondary is different. 12 kids, 2 teachers, start today in 1 class. All teachers, all students go on to 6 or 7 other classes during the course of the day. That's about 250 people they'll come in contact with. And we don't think at this point, given the continued prevalence in the communities we serve, that 250 people make for a health cohort with COVID safety. We're far into the school year for secondary students. We'll see the summer, fall will look different, but for now, we think the best path for those students is to allow them to come to school, to be together with other students, but they'll continue with online instruction as we finish just the few remaining weeks of the school year.
So the governor says we could be back to normal by June 15th. What assurances can you make that things will be back to normal on campuses by August?
My COVID crystal ball is a little limited at this moment. Even June 15th is 2 months from now. And as we've seen this past year, 2 months can bring a lot. But we hope there's continued vaccination, in particular for the communities we serve. We hope there is less community spread. We hope in time there will be vaccinations proven safe and effective for children. Remember, at schools, we've provided vaccinations for all staff who work in schools, but 90% of people at school any day are children for whom there is still no vaccine proven yet safe and effective. So I think it's a process. I hope the governor's goals we can meet as a community, and we'll see what summer and fall brings. But certainly our expectation is a gradual and careful return back to normalcy.
Summer school?
We will, again, as we did last summer, offer summer school for all. Fortunately, this summer we'll be able to offer it in person.
Let's be clear, this wasn't going to work unless the teachers union agreed. And while the CDC said you don't need to vaccinate teachers in order to open safely, and schools across the country have reopened without teachers being vaccinated, when UTLA said no, we don't care what the science or CDC says, we want everyone vaccinated before we go back. Whether you agreed with that or not, that demand had to be met.
Well, you know, I mean, I'll take responsibility alongside UTLA for that. What we wanted to do was set the safest possible standard in schools. We upgraded the air filtration systems before the CDC had any guidance. We established the nation's most comprehensive school-based COVID testing program back last September, before it was even out of the mouths of the words of the CDC. And as the vaccine proved safe and effective and became available, we think the right thing for all in schools, our bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, our custodians, and our classroom teachers, yes, to be vaccinated to bring everybody back in the safest way possible.
People should know you didn't need this job. You were successful in finance. You decided to go into the public sector simply to help out, help the community. On the reward versus frustration scale, how would you rate the past 12 months? And does your wife ever say to you, why are you doing this?
Well, when my wife visits me in the doghouse, we have brief conversations about it. But in all seriousness, it's a privilege to serve. I look at what we've done as a safety net for the community in this past year. We've served almost 125 million meals to hungry children and adults because we saw the need and we were able to step up. So I feel enormous sense of satisfaction, gratitude that I can work alongside 86,000 hardworking women and men to help serve the needs of the students and families we serve, and that's the reward for me.
Austin Beutner, Superintendent of LAUSD, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Conan. Appreciate it.